Hello. Welcome back. We are doing some more TryHackMe walkthroughs, and this is going to be network services too. Gonna put my phone on silent, or at least turn it down. Today we're going to be doing this room, and it reads Enumerating and Exploiting More Common Network Services and Misconfigs. If you want to catch Network Services 1, there will be a card popping up or a link description in the description or something or other. We will be going through the tasks together, and you're more than welcome to follow along. If you pick anything up that I've done wrong or something, please reach out, let me know. Gotta let you know that there is a written write-up below too, so if you want to just scroll through to see any particular areas, that'll be there. But yeah, and if you want to subscribe or something, that'd be cool. Otherwise, no pressure. Cool, so let's get started with task 1, get connected, and we'll read this through together. I do this, I sort of skim areas, and then when I miss things I go back, so if you want to pause and read in more detail, of course you can do that. Before I go, I'm just going to hit the start machine on task 3, because we'll be focusing, this is part 1, so we'll be doing NFS, so tasks 1 to 4 in this video. Okay, with that all out of the way, let's get into it. So we've got task 1, get connected. Hello and welcome. This room is a sequel for the first network services room, which was great. Similarly, it will explore a few more common network services, vulnerabilities, and misconfigs that we're likely to find in CTFs and pen tests. So that's cool. So yeah, pretty much we need that. Also, we need to do the Linux fundamentals. If you haven't done that, also got some walkthroughs if you'd want. Otherwise, go back, make sure we're connected on the OpenVPN. So you can always test by pinging 10. And if you're on the network, you will get some back. Awesome. So there's also a little bit about this not being a Wi-Fi hacking room. Okay. I should do that one though. Seen it come up a couple times. Cool, got our IP there. I'm just gonna quickly try and ping that. Cool. Box is up. Awesome, so NFS stands for Network File System and allows a system to share directories and files with others over a network. By using NFS, users and programs can access files on remote systems almost as if they were local files. It does this by mounting all or a portion of a file system on a server. The portion of the file system that is mounted can be accessed by clients with whatever privileges are assigned to each file. I'm used to NFS in Windows environments from where I've worked, but it's cool learning about it in a Linux environment too, and how that they can both do it. So how does it work? We don't need to understand the technical exchange too much to be able to exploit it. However, this is something that interests you. There is a link here that I will read one day. First, the client will request a mount directory from the remote host and a local directory, just the same way as a physical device, like plugging a USB or a hard drive or something. The mount service then will act to connect to the relevant mount daemon, I don't know how we say this, using RPC, so another protocol. The server checks if the user has permissions to mount whatever directory has been requested. It will return a file handle which uniquely identifies each file and directory that is on the server. So yeah, okay, I'm getting the sense of things. NFS, so RPC calls place for the NFSD, the NFS daemon or daemon on the server. This calls and takes a file handle, the name of the file to be accessed, the user ID, and the group's ID. So checking its permissions. These are used to determining the access rights, or permissions. This is what controls the user permissions, i.e. read and write files. Okay, so what runs it? Using the protocol, we can transfer files between computers and Windows, other non-Windows OS like Linux, Mac, and Unix. So it's pretty universal. I honestly always thought that this was just purely for Windows, because a computer running Windows Server can act as an NFS server. The other non-clients, likewise, NFS allowed Windows-based computers. So yeah, it can go either way. I thought the whole new file thing was a Windows thing, but this is network file system. But I associate it with the new files. Like I get them mixed up, but so they're different. So here's some more. So I've got all this linked off that I promise I will read it. Okay, so let's go through the questions together. We've got, what does NFS stand for? Network file system. I remembered. I've got such a bad memory. What process allows an NFS client to interact with a remote directory as though it was a physical device? What process allows our NFS client? The process. What was the process? We had back up here, mounting. Are we calling it? I think mounting. Yeah. Caveat: I have done this, but it was a little bit ago, so I don't remember everything. I remember some things, so there might be typical bit of problem solving and going back over and reading, remembering too. What does NFS use to represent files and directories on the server? Good question. What does it use to represent files? It uses the file handle. Is that one? What are you looking for? 2 words? Yeah, I think it's the file handle. It's one. So this is the things that it uses to connect. But I think it uses the file handle. Oh, we had a hint. What does the operating use for? Yeah, mounting. Cool. What protocol does NFS use to communicate between the server and the client? So there was another protocol that it specified in somewhere it wants to access. RPC. Paste. RPC. Awesome. What 2 pieces of user data does the NFS server take as parameters for controlling user permissions? Format. Parameter 1 and parameter 2. So something. So under the file handle, we got the name of the file to be accessed. We've got the user. So we got the user ID and group ID. I'm pretty sure. Nah, I remember. Can a Windows NFS share file with a Linux? Yeah, it can. If we remember up here, it said that it can go either way. So what runs it? Everything can run it one way and everything can run it the other way. So the next, can a Linux? Yeah. Linux can share files with Mac OS clients. Everybody's happy. What's the latest version of NFS released? So I don't know. Let's have a look. Network file system for NFS. So we got V2, we got V3, we got V4. So I'm going to take it V4, being the largest number, and not seeing anything else, but just scan around. Version 4 came out December 2000. We got 4.1, 2010, and we got 4.2 from 2016. And it does say since 2016. So there's no, as of 2020, there's nothing newer so far. But being 2022, maybe there might be something new. I mean, this is like, yeah. Okay. How long was it between? That was 6 years. So maybe we've got to wait, a few more years. Cool. So that's going to be our Understanding NFS. So we'll close that one. So let's go over to task 3 for NFS. And we've already started our machine. We already pinged it. So we should be good to go. So before I go and read this, I know we do have to go ahead and do a port scan. So it's going to tell us about mounting and shares. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the port scan. Then I'm going to do a bit of reading, going to let that run in the background, and maybe by the time we finish reading, it'll all be done. Otherwise, I'll just skip the video. So let's go and do an nmap against our machine. That is not our machine. That is the version of NFS. Let's go and get our copy, but we're going to do a couple switches. Like always, double VV for verbose. I'm going to make sure I do a capital A. I'm pretty much actually going to just do this. This was from the last scan. So if you want to go ahead and copy that, or you've already got it, I've gone ahead and actually created a network services 2 directory. So I'm going to output a scan port, output to a scan port file, and just have a scan port backup just in case. But the thing we do want to change, that's not how terminals work actually. We do want to just make sure we put in our IP in there. So if you're unfamiliar with the switches, that's all good. I'm learning 2. This was the all or aggressive mode, which is going to try and detect and run some scripts, I think. This is then going to run all ports. So we're trying to scan as many ports as we can and get as much information as we can. And this is just outputting the file. Cool. That should be cool. So gonna let that run. Already found a couple of ports. So that's very exciting. So while that's running in the background, let's keep on going with what we got here. All right, before we begin, make sure to deploy the room and give it some time to boot. Yeah, it's been booting for a while. Please be aware this can take up to 5 minutes. So yeah, we're all good. What is enumeration? Enumeration is defined as a process, establishes active connection to the target host to discover potential attack vectors in the system, and blah, 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 finding out stuff. That's probably a good link to use for blogging and stuff. So cool, so we're going to find out stuff, requirements. In order to do more advanced enumeration on NFS servers, we're going to use, and shares, we're going to need a few tools. So for this, we have NFS-common. Do I have NFS-common? I don't believe I do. So let's just try an apt install NFS-common. Cool, so it's a package on the list. Cool. So I'll let that do its thing. Is important. So includes LD, shadow mount, FT, and we use this shadow mount. These are going to be useful tools when it comes to extracting information from an FT. If you'd like more information about this, please go here. I'm all good. You can install this by running apt install NFS-common, which we just did. It's a part of the default repositories from Linux distros. Cool. That makes it easy. Like, not that I don't like installing different things from like GitHub and stuff. I mean, it's like fine, but it is nice when things are just like on your system. I'm just gonna run a quick apt. What? This keeps happening. I don't know what is up. See my terminal right now? I'm just going over. I'm just gonna run a quick update and upgrade. Yeah. Seriously, what is with this terminal thing? Okay, port scanning. Covered many times before. We're gonna use Nmap. First up is port scan. So anything else that we need to know here, you can do this. I suggest nmap-a, so we use that n-p- for all the ports. Mounting shares. Your client system needs a directory where your content can be shared between the host and the server. So once we're finished with our nmap scan, which is going to take a little while, we're going to use mount-t NFS IP share. So we'll put our IP there and then share, and we'll put it to a temp in our temp file and create a mount and use a flag no lock. So that runs it as mount root, execute the mount command, which I assume is part of NFS common, or maybe not. Type of device to mount, so -t to specify the device type, IP, the address of the NFS server, and the name of the share. So share isn't like a flag, this is just a name, which could be anything. In this case, it's just share. Cool. And no lock specifies not to use NLM locking. So I have no idea what NLM locking is. Network lock manager. Purpose of what? Version 2 and 3. This protocol is closely tied with NFS protocol. Self shares handle fire. Cool. I now have still no idea what it is, but we don't want it. Cool. Okay, so now we understand our tools. So. Conduct a thorough port scan of your choosing, and we want to find out how many ports are open. So out of the top 1,000 or so, we do have 2, and we are looking for a 1-digit answer. Nope, I'm just gonna do 2. Do we have 2? There are more than 2. So we're gonna. This is a bit of a worry. So this is like what gets me. Like, I don't know if this is the switch that makes it go longer. Or you know what? I'm gonna undo it, and I'm gonna use the -T4 to speed it up. Okay. So you don't have to wait through. I'm gonna skip ahead, but I'm gonna run that and okay. So our scan has finished. Took a little less time that we speeded up, but it has tried to find a little bit more about the ports. So let's go over the first question again. Conduct a thorough blah, blah, blah. How many ports are open? So we've got 1. Oh, you know what? Instead of counting them, I'm going to try and do something that I saw in another one. We can just cat out the file that I created, but we'll just grep anything that is open. Cool, so a little bit easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ports are open. So let's just have a little bit. So we've got SSH, we've got RPC bind. So RPC was another protocol that NFS uses. So it looks like they're all got RPC or something. We've got Mount D on a couple of ports. So not sure if these are like all the one service and they just have multiple ports to use, or you know, these are definitely different services, therefore needing different ports. Not sure. So which port contains the service we're looking to enumerate? So this is a bit tricky. I'm assuming it's going to be one of these. We're looking for 4 digits. I'm using it. It's telling me that this is definitely it, the one that actually says NFS. So I'm going to just copy over that number and put it in. Cool. So that's what we're looking at. If that wasn't a hint, like honestly, I wouldn't be 100% sure. I mean, it does say NFS, but otherwise, fair game. Now use the user bin SN shell show mount -IE to list the NFS shares. Okay, let's try that. So is show mounts. Yep. So it's in the binaries, so we can just run it as is. -E and then our IP address, which I will just copy over, and let's see if that takes that long. So export list from this is under home. Is that right? I don't. Or is home? Is that it? Have I misunderstood that? Home is literally it. What is the name of the visible share? Oh, that is it. That tripped me out. I thought it was exporting a list to this directory, but home is actually it. Okay, cool. No, that's cool. All right. Time to mount the share to our local machine. Let's make the directory. So make dir, and we're putting this in our temporary folder with an absolute path, and we're just going to create this mounting folder here. So we can just list out everything else in our temporary folder or directory. You can see it's got a bunch of random stuff, and then we've got our mount that we just created. Then we want to use the mount command we broke down earlier to go to NFS share to the local machine, change directory to where you mounted the share. What is the name of the folder inside? Okay, let's go up and use this. So we're going to use the mount command. Now, if you're wondering, I don't need sudo privileges because I'm already logged in as my most privileged user, so I don't have to. use that. But we're going to use T for the type, which was NFS. Then we're going to paste in our IP again, which I need to copy. Thank you, TryHackMe, for putting it right there. And then we're going to put in the share. So this share that we're connecting to is home. So that was the file that I saw. Now, I don't think we need to put a file path. Like, I don't think we need to do that. I think we just need... Could be wrong. Let's see. And then we're going to put the location of where we're connecting this share to. And then that last one, no lock, which does the thing about the thingy. That's it. Cool. See what it does. So this, if it is working, it is going out and grabbing it and connecting it. So if there's a little bit of time delay, that it's not a bad thing. So let's list out what is in our temporary and in that mount directory, and hopefully we see something. Great. So that's successful. That means it's worked, basically. All right, let's look inside this. So you're going to hit the up arrow, and we're going to spell it out and hit tab and see what we've got. So I can't see anything, but that doesn't mean there's nothing there. Let's use LL, which is shorthand for list. Okay, really don't have anything there. Looks like we're inside a user's home. Okay. Interesting. Let's do a bit of research now. Let's have a look through the folders. Which of these folders contain the keys? So, did I do something wrong? Because I can't actually see anything in this. So I may have to retrace my steps if I have done something wrong here. Okay, cool. I'm just silly because the LL doesn't include the -A. I thought it did. It only does the -L, which it lists out, but A includes all, which shows us all the files, including hidden files, which has the period before it. So there's a little hint in here. They've bolded the letters RSA, which is the acronym for our RSA files. So there's the RSA public keys and private keys, which is for SSH. So if we list out -LA in here, but then we go -SSH this time, and we look inside that file, then we can see those files. So this is what we're after: RSA public and private. So we go .SSH, that's where we're looking inside of, and then what are the keys that's most useful? So out of these two, this one is the private key. So PUB for public, but ID_RSA is our most, because that's private. Ooh, shouldn't be able to see this. Cool, so copy this file to a different location. Cool, so we can just use the CP command to copy that. So in that temporary file, in the mount, in the cappuccino, and then in the .SSH, SSH, and we're gonna grab that what am I doing? ID _RSA. No. So there's just a little bit of delay between my keyboard and then server. So we're just gonna copy that. And I'm going to go space, and I'm just going to put it in the directory that I'm already at, which is in the network services. So cool, so I've grabbed that, so we can list out here. So here it is. So we're going to be changing the permissions. So we're going to be using the 600. So that means, I think it's read. Oh, testing my permission knowledge. So let's just run 600 against it. So we can see here we've got read write, and then for the user, so no execute, and nothing for the group, and nothing for everyone else. So we're changing it. I'm going to put myself on a limb, and I'm going to say the W is going to disappear after we run this. See if I'm right. I am totally ready to be wrong. I am totally wrong. It was the same. I thought. Yeah, okay. It's already at 600, which seems weird. I don't know if I'm probably just getting confused. Or I don't know. Assuming we have we're right about what type of directory this is, we can pretty easily work out the name of the user the key corresponds to, which is gonna probably be cappuccino. So this way we're gonna SSH, use the -I to import this file as our authentication. So let's see if that works. So SSH, we're going to use the ID_RSA file. We're going to use the cap. How do you spell cappuccino again? Cappuccino spelling. Me no good. Cool. Gonna punch that in. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, please. Warning, it's permanent host, and that just logs us in because that's our password. Awesome. So can we log in using that? Yeah. Sweet. Okay. I'm just trying to remember. 600. I think 4 was read. 7 was everything. 6. I can't remember my bit sets. Whatever. Cool. Anyway, we're in. So who am I? I'm running cappuccino. I would be in the directory. So let's list out the home. And there's only one other user on this system besides root. So we're going to try and escalate up the privileges tree vertically, of course. Okay, let's go over to task 4. So we do have our foothold in the system, which is cool, but we want to go to root. So just going to quickly scroll down. We need to gain definitely privesc. Alrighty, we're done, right? Not quite. We have a low privilege shell, so we can't do much with this user. So you might be able to use escalate privileges depending on how it's configured. What is root squash? I don't know, TryHackMe, what is root squash? On NFS shares, root squashing is enabled and prevents anyone connecting to the NFS share from having root access to the NFS volume. Remote root users are assigned as user NFS nobody when connected, which has the least local privileges. Not what we want. However, if this is turned off, it can allow the creation of SUID bit files. So this is special user IDs or something. I can't remember exactly, but it's like temporary privileges, I think, allowing a remote user root access to connect to the system. So what are the SUID bits at? Essentially, this means that the file or files can be run with permissions of the file's owner or group. In that case, as a super user, we can leverage this to get a shell with the privileges. There's like this really long command that you can just copy paste to see all of these files on a system. Apparently it's like common in CTFs and stuff. Okay, methods sounds complicated, but really, provided you're familiar with I'm not that familiar with how it works, so it's not that. It is complicated for me, but whatever. It's fairly easy to understand. We're able to upload files to the NFS share and then control the permissions of these files. We can set the permissions of whatever we uploaded in the case of a bash shell executable. Okay, please walk me through this, because I've gone through this room and I've done this a couple times, but it's still takes me a little bit. Anyway, due to compatibility reasons, will be standard. You can download it here. Let me just, will this be straight up download? Okay, so this is just for this file. Can I just go to the raw? View raw. So upload the bash shell. Can I just use wget on the system? Can I just wget and just download that file? Probably not, right? It probably doesn't have outbound traffic. Okay, so in that case, we can just wget this. Man, I love this sick terminal. Stuff you terminal. I'm gonna go over here and I'm just gonna flick between. So let me just change directories over into documents, TryHackMe, network services 2, and cool. So we got bash raw true. That's right. Let me just try this again. And ll. Yeah. And it's wget this, but just call it bash. Does that work? No. Okay, fine. I'll just move. Sorry, this is probably. I'm just gonna call this bash. Cool. So if we just cat out bash, this should be in binary, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, cool, got that. So we do need to get this over to the system. So we can do this by a couple of ways. I'm gonna start a Python server on here using python 3-m http.server running on port 8000. So if we tell our system to download from our local IP, so we're gonna go back over to Cappuccino. Did I lose my mouse again? Sometimes my mouse just stops working. Okay, so yeah, definitely can't. But we can wget locally to this system running on port 8000. So that's my system. I just started a web server, and we're just going to download bash. So I'm just going to go get that locally. So this isn't apparently this is a good way of getting like files across your systems that you're trying to get into. So now, like, that's our bash file. We can confirm. Yes, I don't know. Does this happen to other people? And we can see here, hey, this system just connected to it. Cool. So we can just turn off that little web server. So we can confirm, 11.3.5.0.4 that this is definitely like the exact same file. Yeah. So once it's over here, we can change mod. No. Okay. Let's just go over the questions. Let's just go back. I'm getting ahead of myself. So we've gained access. We've got low privilege. Upload bash executable to NFS. Oh, I was supposed to upload to the NFS. Oh yeah, we already had a mount connecting our two machines. I could have just whoops. Well, I've done it a slightly different way. So let me just go back. This is what I get. So what we could have done is copy our bash to our temporary mount folder or directory. So we've copied that and it puts it over there, and then it uploads. So I just wait, because the files, so it just takes a little bit. So in this case, if we looked at, where's the mount? Is it in mount? If we looked up lsmn, I don't know where the mount is on here. Shared folder? Is that where it goes? I don't know. Okay, I'm not sure where it goes. But I got it over there anyway. First change directory to the mount for you there. With NF share should still be mounted and then use it in the homes directories. Oh wait, it was just in the wasn't it just in our file? Like, wouldn't it have? Yeah, it was the home file, so it would have just been there. So I copied it over, I think. Download blah 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 CP, copy that to downloads bash. Yep, so we've got it over there. Now we're going to add the SUID bit permission to the bash executable we just copied using plus permission bash. What letter do we set the SUID bit using change mode? S? Actually, I'm not sure. So let's just let's problem solve this. So this is our file right here that we need to change over. So we need to see an S somewhere here. Like, I don't know if it's like for the executable. So let's just try. Let's just try. So we go ch change mod plus S, I think, to bash, and list that out again, and now we have S. I think that's right. I probably should have done that. Okay, cool, it's right. Probably should have done that before I'd done it here, but anyway, let's do a sanity check. Let's just check the permissions of the bash. So that's what I just did. And ls-la bash. What does the permission look like? So I don't know if it wants all of it. I'm just going to copy that over. But it says change permissions of bash is not permitted because we're not user. So because I'm doing in the wrong one, right? Because I need to do it actually through, yes, I need to go change mod plus S to, I need to do it in the right place. That's what I'm missing. That's what I'm missing. I think. Cappuccino bash. So I can do it here because I've got privileges. But if I look over here, if I look over here, and it's added, but it's not executable for everyone. Can I add change mod plus X? Wait, let me just, can I do this? And then do this? Cool. All right, this is looking a little bit more like what I should have. So we've got dash read write special r-s r-x. Oh, figured it out. Okay. So this is good learning. So changing the permissions from your machine is what's misconfigured. We shouldn't be able to do that. Obviously, guys, obviously. All right, now SSH into the user, which is where I'm already at, and this is what was confusing me, and run bash -p. P persists with permissions. So we can just go bash -p and go who am I, and we're root. We did it, baby. Let's list out what we've got. Wait, where am I? Print working directory, home and cappuccino. So let's just change directories to go to our root folder, and then we can list out that. Then we can cat out the root.txt, and looks like we've got our flag. Honestly, it felt pretty good because sort of things went a bit pear-shaped there. Did things, but you know what? It's all part of the learning, so it's all good. That was the first part of Network Services 2, tasks 1 to 4. Go ahead and we'll terminate that. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Comment, like, all this sort of good stuff. If you have any comments for videos or anything, just let me know. Yeah, reach out if you want to. Yeah, that was fun. That was really fun. Stay tuned for part 2, which will be going over SMTP, so that should be fun. And then, of course, part 3 will finish off with MySQL. So thanks for sticking around. If you've made it this far, you're an absolute legend, and I will see you in the next one. Cool. Thank you.